Paper Mario, also known as Mario's Story in Japan, was released on the N64 August 11th, 2000 in Japan and February 5th, 2001 in America. This was the very first Paper Mario game that kicked off the entire franchise. It was originally supposed to be a sequel to Super Mario RPG back on the Super Nintendo, but with Square falling out with Nintendo around that time, Intelligent Systems came along and took over and made this game what it is. This game is a big part of my childhood, and I haven't even played it for like 8 to 9 years. Does it still hold up? Is it still as fun as I remember? Let's get into it. Before the game even starts, Bowser and Kammy Koopa sneak into Star Haven and take the Star Rod. This item holds immense power and it eventually makes Bowser invincible. He traps all the Star Spirits and sends them to different locations all throughout the game. And with this new profound power he has a plan to defeat Mario once and for all. Meanwhile, at Mario's house, Mario and Luigi get mail to go to a party at Princess Peach's castle. Once they arrive, Luigi wants to talk to some guests and tells Mario to go on ahead without him. Mario finds Princess Peach and they go somewhere quiet to talk. While the both of them are chatting, that's when the destruction happens and Princess Peach's castle is lifted from the ground all the way into the sky. Super high up, and Bowser's new castle is built underneath it with a clown copter that lifts it up. Nobody knows what's happening, but they know that it got dark outside, and it's a little strange to them. And out of nowhere, Bowser breaks through the glass window of Peach's castle and challenges Mario to a fight. Even though Bowser always seems to lose to Mario, this time he has a plan to use a Star Rod to make himself invincible. Halfway through the fight, he pulls it out, and Mario can't damage him anymore. This is a scripted fight where you have to lose. Once Mario is defeated, Bowser zaps him out the window with the Star Rod, and Mario falls all the way from the sky, and he's injured, and he's kind of in a coma-like state for a few days. With Bowser's plan going accordingly, and Mario out of the picture, this is where the game really starts. While Mario is in a deep coma-like state, he gets a message from one of the Star Spirits on what to do and that they need help to be saved to stop Bowser. Mario's taken to Goomba Village in a Toad house where he awakens, and that's when he starts his journey. This game is a turn-based RPG similar to Pokemon, where you attack and then the enemy will attack and then it's your turn again. As Mario, you have a lot of different things you can do in battle. You can use the jump attack, the hammer attack, you can use items to either heal or also damage enemies. There's a tactics menu that lets you run away from battle if you don't feel like fighting an enemy. And then later on, you'll also get the Star Spirits tab that let you use the power of the Star Spirits that you've saved. You have HP, health points, FP, flower points, and BP, badge points. With badge points, you can equip badges, and some badges require 6 points. Some are 1 point, 2 point. Every time you level up in this game, you can choose to upgrade health, flower points, or badge points. There is a limit. Level 27, I believe, is the cap. So once you hit like 30 badge points, you can't go any higher. So It doesn't really matter what you upgrade first. For the early game, you want to upgrade your health and FP a little bit, but later on you can be more lenient and upgrade badges more often. There's lots of badges on here. That way you pull crazy attacks, like Power Bounce lets you continually jump on an enemy as long as you keep pressing A at the right time. Stuff like Close Call, that lets enemies have a percentage, 30 I believe, of missing Mario when he's on low HP. Stuff like Happy Heart and Happy Flower Badge, which restore your health and FP by 1 each turn. You can also like stack those to make it like 2 each turn. There's so many different badges. The Power Smash with your hammer that lets you do piercing damage to get past enemy defenses. There's so many different badges, and it's a very customized experience, and you can pull off some crazy stuff. To use these badges, you'll need FP, which I recommend upgrading, especially in the early game. FP is what you use to spend to use those attacks in battle. So if you want to use Power Bounce, you're going to have to spend like 3 FP. So the badge points are used to equip the badges outside of battle, and the FP is what costs to use that in battle. And obviously you can upgrade your health as well. Lots of different styles of play, but like I said, the cap is level 27, I believe, so early game, upgrade HP, FP, but later on you can upgrade whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. This game also has something called action commands. You don't have these in the prologue of the game. You have to wait till you progress it and defeat the Goomba King and make your way to Star Valley. With action commands, you can block attacks, you can jump on enemies multiple times. Honestly, I wish they would have just gave that to you at the start of the game. It's not really that big of a deal, but take for instance the sequel, Paper Mario 1,000 Year Door. I believe you already started off having action commands with you, so I don't know why they waited on here, but it's not like a big deal. But basically, if you press A at the right time when an enemy attacks you, you can like block it. You'll still take damage, but you'll take less damage, you know? There's also badges like Damage Dodge, which reduce the damage by 1, and I believe there might be multiple of those that you can like stack, so that's good. Or maybe it's a Defense Plus badge I'm thinking of. But the action commands are very helpful, and you want to time those right, especially with like jump attacks, so you can jump on enemies multiple times. Very helpful. I just wish they gave it to you at the start of the game. I don't know why. Especially because I haven't played this in a long time. I'm like, am I remembering this wrong? Why can't I block these attacks, you know? But you just gotta play a little past the prologue and then you'll get it. Throughout Mario's journey, you'll go to many different places and encounter many different partners in this game. Goombario, he's a Goomba with a hat, and his name is like similar to Mario. Goombario is a good partner, and he is just like another Mario essentially, with his later attacks you get when you upgrade them, which I'll get to in a bit. Lady Bo, she can like slap enemies, turn Mario invisible for a turn. Cooper, you can kick his shell, reach items that you wouldn't normally be able to reach. Paracarry, he can like carry you across gaps you wouldn't be able to jump across. Bombette can blow up holes in the wall. Wacky Lester, he can make you travel over lava and spikes. Sushi can help you cross water and you dive underneath it to reach items. Watt, he can show stuff in the dark that if it's pitch black, especially the final area in the game where it's like a pitch black cave, if you don't have him equipped with you, you can't even attack in battle because it's too dark. So each partner on here has a great range of attacks. Some are better than others. Personally, my favorites are Cooper, Goombario, Bombette, especially with the like, blast range of all the enemies on screen at once. They're all good. I will say Wacky Lester is just like my least favorite. He's not as useful, and you get him so late in the game, but every chapter you get like a new partner besides the very, very final one, and some chapters, like the chapter 1, you get Bombette and Cooper in the same one, so that's interesting. A lot of fun partners on here, and they all have unique personalities, and I love their designs. In battle, your partners can attack as well as use special attacks. You see, the second game, Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, you can equip badges on your partners. You can't do that on the first game. Also, on this game, the very first Paper Mario, your partners don't have health bars, so if an enemy attacks them, they'll get injured and they'll get knocked out for a few turns, so you can't even use them. So that's an interesting mechanic. In the sequel, you can equip badges on them, and they have health bars. But this is the first game, so I don't really knock it for that. So some enemies will, especially like lava bubbles, they'll like target like one of your teammates, partners, and they'll injure them so they can't use them in battle now, just for a few turns. Just like with the action commands with Mario, many people don't know is you can also use the action command with your partner to block attacks. So if you time it right with the A button, just like when Mario crouches with his hat, you can do that with your teammates as well. They can also pounce on enemies multiple times, just like Goombario later on with his like multi-bonk ability. Throughout the game, you'll have to use these partners to solve different puzzles in different areas. Like you'll need to blow up a hole in the wall or fly over this gap as I explained earlier. There's special upgrade blocks that bring your partners to super rank and ultra rank. Now this increases them to do more damage, and they unlock a new attack. Take Goombario, like I said. He can use a charge ability, and he can use multi-bonk, so he can use Mario's power bounce, essentially, where you keep on doing it as long as you're timing it properly. And Sushi's later attacks, as well as Bombette, where they can attack multiple enemies on screen, which are super helpful. Because when you encounter enemies on here, you don't know how many are going to be in the battle. Sometimes it could be 1 or 2, but sometimes it could be like 4. So it's good to have those partners with those abilities to attack all enemies on screen. Outside of your partners being able to upgrade, Mario, he can upgrade from leveling up from battle, but also you'll find different pairs of boots and hammers that increase your base jump power and base hammer power. So you'll find like a brand new pair of boots and your jump power will go up by 1. And by the time you get to the end of the game, you'll have like a way stronger jump and stronger hammer. So those aren't missable. The upgrade blocks for your partners, those are missable if you don't like look for them. But the hammers and boots, you'll need those to progress the story, so you won't miss those. Throughout the game, you'll encounter this little character named Junior Troopa. He's basically your rival in this game, where he'll always show up around each chapter, either near the end or the start, and he'll always want to fight Mario. He wants to beat Mario, but obviously he never does. The fights with him are fun. Each one, he tries to have like a different gimmick. One time he'll have a spike on his head, he'll grow wings, and then he'll say he's been practicing magic, and then you'll have to fight him with that. Each fight is fun, nothing really repetitive, but he's just a silly character. A fun fact is, if you play Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, the sequel, in Chapter 6, I believe, on the train, if you look at one of your messages, you'll see him in the background, like, flying in, like, a picture that someone sends to you, so that's, like, a little cool reference. Something that I find really cool is, at the end of each battle, depending on how well you do, Mario will have, like, a different pose. If you wipe the floor with the enemy, or got through it relatively unscathed, he'll, like, wag his finger. If it was, like, you took a little damage, he'll just, like, give you a thumb up. And then if you took a good chunk of damage, he'll like wipe his pants off. But I like how they did that. That's awesome, because in the Thousand Year Door they don't do that. So lots of personality on here. And as I mentioned earlier, you'll get star spirits as you save them from each location throughout the Mushroom Kingdom. You can use these in battle. Some will let you heal for like 5 HP, 5 FP. Some will allow you to attack multiple enemies on screen with like a Star Storm. And that's a very good attack. Later on, you can get a smooch attack that heals you for 20 HP. That's very helpful. I wish there was one that could heal FP, because I won't lie, I'm a pretty big spender, you know? And I like to use a lot of those badge attacks, and I really consume a lot of FP. So it would have been cool if there's like something like that. I know in the sequel, 1,000 Year Door, with the crystal stars, you could like do the one thing that allows you to throw the crystal stars at the HP and FP as they come down screen. I wish there was like something similar to that, but it's fine. Lots of cool Star Spirit attacks. It will consume a star meter as you use those, so every time it's Mario's turn, it will go refill a little bit, but there's also a focus option you can choose, and that will dramatically fill your star meter. But there's also like 3 focus badges you can find, and if you equip those make your focus meter even more filled each time you use it. There's also a badge that lets you have your partners be able to use the focus option as well, so equip those if you want. But to use those star attacks, Star Spirit attacks, you'll need to refill your meter. You can go to a Toad house and just take a nap, and it'll refill it, or you can just charge it in through battle. Even if you level up, it'll refill automatically. Which is also a fun note, is that Toad houses on here are free. If you play 1,000 Year Door, I believe they charge you a few coins, which isn't that bad, but I find it interesting. It's just free on here. There's some collectibles to find on here, and the main one is star pieces. These are hidden all throughout the world. You can ground pound to find them under panels. Sometimes they're just hidden off-site in hard to reach places, but there's like over 100, and they're very hidden. And I think there's a badge called I Spy that like helps you like find them, but it's not like a direct way to find them. It just gives you like a beeping hint when you're near one, I believe. Lots of them to find. There's a shop in that Star Valley that lets you purchase more badges with those, so just try to find them, and you can purchase like a Happy Heart badge from the merchant there, as well as like a Happy Flower, which those are very helpful. Something I really like about this game is the Speedy Spin. It lets Mario traverse areas very quickly. It's basically not a run button, but a spin button, and allows you to get places super quickly. This is not present in the sequel. They got rid of it, but in the sequel you can ride the Yoshi Kid, so it's like that's how you get around super fast. So it's basically the same thing, but I would like to see this return one day. It's awesome. Parakarry, one of your partners, he's a male Koopa. And so basically there's a bunch of letters he's dropped all throughout the game, and you want to find those and just give them to NPCs, and that will also give you star pieces, so that's pretty cool. Lots of collecting to do on here with like the badges, the star pieces, the mail. Lots of cool hidden stuff to find. In Toad Town, there's a lot of different places to visit, like Toad houses to restore HP. There's a badge shop to buy badges with coins instead of star pieces. There's also a recipe place where you can mix and match items. You could take like a super shroom and mix it with a maple syrup, so when you consume it, it heals FP and HP, so that like saves you a turn instead of just using one of each item separately. So, and some items, when you combine them, they have even greater impact, so lots of different recipes. Once you progress through every chapter, there'll be like a mini boss or even like the main boss. These boss fights are a lot of fun. Sometimes they'll have like a little trick where it's like you gotta like strategize. Take for example the lava piranha fight. You really want to have Sushi with you to use the water attacks, especially the one that lets you shoot all across the screen. That'll help a lot. That can also help out with the cloud fight in Chapter 6. Huff and Puff. But stuff like Bombette can blow up the Koopa Bros and knock them over and all this stuff. But you can also use like any partner to do that. So some partners You can beat any boss with any partner, but some partners will have like a better advantage, you know? So the boss fights on here are good, lots of fun, not like overly challenging, but lots of fun. And there's tons of optional ones too. If you go through the Mushroom Kingdom and you go into a pipe, there's a couple like optional blooper mini bosses you'll fight as you progress through the underground pipe system. There's also the Dojo Toad Master. He's supposedly the hardest fight in the game, hardest boss. Honestly, if you have the Zap Tap badge, which if enemies touch you, they get electrocuted, if you have that, you'll be fine. Otherwise, they'll try to combo you. But the bosses are very fun on here, and not overly challenging, but a good challenge. And I think the Crystal King, he's probably like the hardest boss, honestly, just because he constantly refills his health. While Bowser does do that, I feel like for the Crystal King, if you don't have like the FP items to refill, you might screw yourself. But he's not really bad. But yeah, the boss fights on here are a lot of fun. The dialogue on here is very funny, and every character feels like they have personality. Even the toads on here all look different, and they all have like, some have like facial hair and beards, and some have glasses and different colored outfits, and they all look so unique. And that's just something you don't see later on in the series after the Thousand Year Door. And it's a shame, because so much love and thought was put into this game with all the creativity of each character, not just your partners or Mario, but every NPC, you know. And the dialogue on here is super funny. The music on this game is absolutely fantastic. I love it. The battle theme is very catchy. The mini boss theme is awesome. I love it. That's also super catchy. I will say, like, the Koopa Bros battle, when you're fighting like the fake Bowser, when I was a kid, that always kind of like sounded a little creepy with like the like that noise. But the soundtrack on here is fantastic, and the Tubba Blubba theme, that's pretty awesome. Especially the final boss theme, the Phase 1 called Bowser's Rage, I believe. That is so epic. And it's such a awesome final fight, you know? Even if it's not like super hard, but the music on here is fantastic, dude. And if they ever do like a remake, I hope they do with what they did with the Thousand Year Door remake, how like each chapter area has like a different take on the battle theme. If they ever remake this game, please do that. That would be awesome. As Mario saves every Star Spirit, they all regain their strength, and you go all the way to the Star Valley, and they gather together and make a little ship that lets you fly all the way up to Bowser's castle. Before you even do that, you'll go on this like starry bridge and walk up that, and I love that music. Even like the Starborn Valley, the area above it, I mean, it's just, the music is awesome, and just like the colors and the outer space looking night sky is just awesome. You basically get in this vehicle and fly to Bowser's castle, and it's like so climatic, and it's just so epic, because it's like we got launched from here in game days ago, and it's like we're finally making a comeback, and we're gonna, you know, destroy Bowser once and for all. And it's just like so epic flying there. You make your way through Bowser's castle, you save some prisoners, solve puzzles, defeat tons of Bowser's minions, which are stronger than the normal enemies you'll fight up to that point. And then you'll eventually make it out of Bowser's castle, which is like a big dungeon, tons of rooms to explore, and you'll get to Peach's castle. And that's when you'll get up to Bowser and confront him. You'll fight him, and then he'll run off and say, "This is just my warm-up." Because with the power of all the Star Spirits combined, you get a beam attack that breaks his Star Rod barrier. He retreats, and he's like, "If you want Princess Peach, come follow me." The final fight with Bowser takes place on this giant spinning platform, and Kammy Koopa, makes Bowser supercharged, and he grows super big. The first part of the fight in Phase 1, you'll keep damaging him. Eventually, he'll use his Super Star Rod power to make himself invincible, and you'll use a Star Beam, but it just won't be enough. Eventually, the camera will pan over to Princess Peach, and she'll have this character named Twink with her. Now, after every chapter you complete with Mario, there'll be an intermission with Princess Peach. And so at the end of each chapter, you'll play as Peach for just a little bit. And this could involve anything from escaping her room she was put in to going to a library and finding out some details about a boss's weakness, or having to make a cake for an enemy to get some intel. Those intermissions are pretty fun, and they brought this back in Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. But there's a star that she meets named Twink, and he's also the one who like confronts Mario throughout the game and helps him like with messages from Princess Peach. So with Twink, he just rose up to Star Haven. He's like a newcomer. He's just a little tiny star. But with the power of Princess Peach's wishes, which is used on the Star Rod to even make wishes before Bowser took it, she makes Twink even stronger. So each time you're in that battle with Kammy Koopa with Princess Peach and Twink, he'll keep hitting her, and then it'll just do more damage, and eventually Kammy Koopa will be overwhelmed and be defeated. Basically, Twink, he'll join with all the Star Spirits, and eventually you'll get something called the Peach Beam, and this lets you break Bowser's Star Rod barrier once and for all, and that's when you can start attacking him. I will say, during this final boss, it's kind of like annoying that Bowser keeps like spamming it, so like every couple turns, he'll keep turning invincible, and then you have to like waste a turn just breaking it, so that can be like kind of annoying, but it's not that bad. Once you defeat Bowser, Princess Peach's castle is safe in a safe bubble by the Star Spirits, and Bowser's castle self-destructs. And then they have a real party, just like they were supposed to days ago in-game. And everyone's invited, even Bowser is invited to the parade they have after. And that's Paper Mario, also known as Mario's Story in Japan, and Paper Mario 64 is what most people call it nowadays. This game is absolutely fantastic, and I love it. Everything from the gameplay, the music, the customizable badges with how many different attacks you can pull off, the items. Your partners are cool looking, and they have lots of cool abilities. Everything about this game is just so much fun. Despite your partners not having a health bar or not being able to have badges equipped on them, besides like something like the thing that lets your partners use the focus attack, it's not really even an attack. That's not even a big issue. I just wish they gave you action commands way sooner. Not that it's a big deal, but besides that, and the Bowser final fight where he's like keeps spamming it, the invincibility, you need to like waste a turn to break it. Besides that, I have nothing bad to say. I love this game. It's the very first Paper Mario. The sequel improved everything tenfold. I love this game so much. I don't know if it's still expensive on eBay, probably. If you have a Switch Online, you can just play it that way. Go play this game in any form. I love it, it's a masterpiece. And I'll see you next time.